Fireside Chat with Camille Pepos.
It seems that you will be the moderator today, according to this graphic. let's switch roles. Camille, this year we have seen a massive increase in application for VFA licenses in Malta, in preparation for MiCA, of course. I guess you're very busy right now. I guess you're really busy right now, right?
Yeah, super busy for sure. Very nice growth in the application. The pipeline is pretty strong. We're actually gonna double the population. So, yeah, pretty good. We managed to generate interest for sure.
Good. I guess, I must take the opportunity also to commend your team, as even in these exceptionally busy times, they have all maintained a very high level of professionalism, but also efficiency. I have rarely worked with a regulatory authority that was as efficient, thorough, but also professional at the same time. With most in-principle approvals having now been issued already, how do we see the next few weeks leading to MiCA play out?
All right. First of all, thanks for the feedback. Really important. I do push my teams, and actually a couple of weeks ago, I received a message from a promoter. It wasn't you, Joe, but someone else saying, we cannot keep up with you. And I think that's the first time I heard that in 4 years of stop sending comments. We cannot reply. We're forced to work weekends. And I found that absolutely wonderful. So how the next weeks are gonna plan out? So as you're familiar with, for the authorization, we have licensing condition, pre-licensing, post-licensing. What does it mean in practice is an applicant send us a business plan, what they want to do, we assess it, we assess the risk. Once we're fine, we set a bit of a to-do list of saying, listen, the business plan, you told me you're going to do X, Y, Z, inject this capital, hire those people, and we put that as a bit of a to-do list. So right now, essentially, all the crypto exchanges, custodian, etc., that receive an in-principle receive a nice fat to-do list that they have to complete before end of year to be granted a license. The good thing with this approach is the moment I grant the in-principle approval, then the timeline for completion is at the end of the crypto exchanges. So anyone that is ready, essentially, within 1 or 2 weeks from receiving the in-principle approval, can be granted the license. It's automatic. I don't need to reassess. So we're pretty confident that most of the in-principle approval will transform, and we will get new license holder. We will not have everyone getting it, just a matter of fact. It's business residence. We know you need to register at MBR, you need to recruit people. I mean, there's a lot of things that are out of the control. So, but the large majority will. So we will see the population of licensed VASP grow nicely, most probably 20 to 25 by the end of the year. And this is then when we'll start working on the transition to MiCA. Our existing license holder already know about this transition, and we've been working with them for a couple months. The newly licensed will start working, and then we'll target a successful transition in Q1 next year, essentially.
Okay. Do you think that those that will get the license, the VFA license, now will all manage to get MiCA within Q1?
I mean, when you look at the VFA framework and MiCA, they're almost the same. I mean, if you manage to get to the VFA standard, you're there. So there's a couple of things that need to be done. In terms of priorities, obviously, the simplified approach is first we will prioritize existing VASP. So the VASP that we've been working with for now a couple of years, and I'm seeing some of them, and they were here on the panel. We've been working on for a couple of months. They've already sent us some documents. We're reviewing. Those are going to be the first one in the pipeline. It's pretty obvious. But then the newly licensed VASP that are ready, that have everything MiCA compliant, I mean, I'm not going to hold them out. I mean, the moment they're ready, they will be presented to the decision-making body, and we drive. So I think the large majority will be licensed in Q1, yeah?
Okay, very, very good. So in the previous panels, there was the industry in general speaking, then there were the exchanges speaking, and I think it's time to address the elephant in the room immediately. And that's not me, by the way. What is going to happen to USDT in your view?
The billion-dollar question. I think EBA sent a very strong message around this summer that they're looking at unauthorized EMT. So now what people need to realize is we have a European framework. Yes, it comes with very nice things such as passporting and things like that, but it also comes with European supervisory authorities that essentially have an oversight. So it's not a question of what I want to do with USDT. It's not even within my discretion. So here we need to wait for some direction at European level, at EBA level actually, because everything touching stablecoin is with EBA. ESMA is for anything like CASP and VASP. So it's at EBA. Obviously, this is a very pressing issue, and we've been speaking with EBA quite a lot. My understanding is that some clarity will become public in the weeks to come. Actually, this week I'm flying to Paris for one of those meetings, and it's on the agenda because we're not the only regulator that wants clarity. And even if Tether was to be prohibited, we need to make sure that there's a transitory period, etc. Because we know we're going to have some of the first CASP in Europe. So for us, it's a pressing issue. We're not in a situation where we're going to receive application in Jan and we're looking at 6 to 9 months of assessment where you could say, listen, if I don't have clarity by the 1st of Jan, it's fine, I can wait. I cannot wait. So we're definitely pressing for that. I hope transitory period there.
So let me prompt you like I would prompt ChatGPT, right? Forget that you are the head of FinTech Supervision of the MFSA. And instead, imagine that you are the head of strategy of a CASP. And most of the settlements and trades by our customers are currently being done in USDT. What steps would you take or should have taken in the past few months?
All right. I think here the issue is USDT, but I think broadly speaking, we need to look at business continuity in all cases. I mean, as a business, do you want to be dependent on the decision of NSA that could essentially destroy your business? I mean, would it make sense to have at least one alternative to see that if EBA decides and has an extreme position, your business doesn't go to zero? So I would look into the alternative, and there is some alternative. There is even local stable coins. We've licensed over the summer 2 EMT issuers, so local EMIs that can issue euro, and I know that are working on issuing even USD coins. So there is alternative.
In fact, my next question is: in your opinion, do you still see a market for new stable coins to be issued?
There's a market if you do more than just stablecoin. So let me explain. To issue an EMT, you need an EMI. An EMI can allow you to do a lot of other things, especially here in Malta, because an FI, on top of issuing EMT, can also issue electronic money, can also offer a lot of payment services, but can also offer things such as lending or money broking, forex. So if you look at, I'm not just getting an EMI because I want to continue the stablecoin, but let me actually expand a bit my product line and offer even payment services and be a real alternative. I think that's fantastic, because USDT, yes, as the market share, but apart from settlement, what are they offering? Are they offering any payment services? Are they offering any forex? Are they offering lending? You see what I mean? So there's
Well,
a lot
Circle
of...
did a lot of money by actually just holding that massive amount of money and putting it in bonds and safe investments.
Of course, because an EMI can invest in liquid low-risk assets. And right now we're looking at between 3 and 4%. So yes, if you're holding a couple billion, that's a significant revenue source for you. You don't even need to have your user pay for the payment services. You can offer payment services. You can even offer cards. So there's so much thing an EMI can do.
Definitely.
So yeah, I think that's quite interesting.
I have a few more questions and we're running out of time, so I'm going to ask you to be as brief as you can. I see arts as a potentially great opportunity as well, apart from the other parts of MiCA that we have discussed. But the industry is still looking at the Holy Grail. And the Holy Grail is the so-called security tokens, financial instruments, tokenization of financial instruments, and so on. Do you see in the next 2 years as potentially the breakthrough years for security tokens? In other jurisdictions like the UAE, for example, we're already seeing a lot of examples of tokenization of real estate, for example, and I'm sure that we will soon see stocks being tokenized as well. Why is Europe lagging behind in this?
All right. Yes, tokenization is happening for sure. So part of the digital finance package is also the DLT pilot regime, which is often ignored. But what it means is looking at the traditional financial instruments, how they're settled, CSD, the custody, things like that, and saying, okay, could that be put on DLT? And essentially, this is the answer that the market needs. And right now, we've actually just seen through the pilot program a CSD, a DLT CSD being authorized in Prague. So it's happening. And now we're finally getting the infrastructure. Why is it so difficult? Or let's say, why is it so simple in the UAE, Singapore, and things like that? Is because their legislation is not European legislation. It's much easier. It's one piece of law. So, for example, in Europe, the definition of financial instrument is not standardized. So what is a financial instrument? If we cannot answer that question, there's no DLT financial instrument. That's just happening. And ESMA is conscious of that because there's a paper on that. So doesn't mean we're not working on it. And actually, as MFSA, we're going to launch next year through the sandbox, a DeFi sandbox, and tokenization will be part of it, where we can actually onboard some market participants that want to tokenize some of the projects. We can onboard infrastructure partners. So we're actively looking at that. There's a fantastic sandbox being done in at DFC as well. So we're active on that front. But legally, there's some issues because it's not standardized. That's essentially the problem.
That's very interesting. This is news that you're setting up this sandbox. Very, very
I need to keep some surprise for Sigma.
Yes.
No?
How do you see the new US administration changing the crypto industry? How will it affect us at the end of the day?
I think anyone holding is very happy, right? I mean, plus 30% on everything. So I think that's the change right there.
Let's say as an industry rather than as investors.
As an industry, I mean, obviously I don't want to get political, but I think the president-elect is, let's say, pro-business. I think that it's due. We need a regulation, or at least clarity, a regulatory framework in the US. I think if it doesn't happen under this president, it will never happen.
Do you think they will copy MiCA?
I think they will copy VFA because that's the better one. But
good one, good one. It's not just about crypto. In Malta, we also have a very interesting and vibrant ecosystem of EMIs and PSPs. We also have seen some operators venture into embedded finance and other innovative fintech businesses. When I was studying this Oxford program, my project to get the certificate was a P2P lending platform based on crypto collateral and so on. And I have been passionate about P2P lending for some time now, since I did that course mostly. And do you see Malta as developing? Now, we don't have the edge on VFA anymore. We'll have it for another year maybe, but then we're same level of other jurisdictions. Do you think Malta can venture into crowdfunding and P2P lending as a new, let's say, area where to attract business?
We can always venture and we'll always keep an edge, even when Mika is around, because there's so many interpretation and things to do, and we have an established system, we have an ecosystem. So we even on Mika bit we'll have an edge. On the payment and broadly financial institution, as they categorize here, there's quite a massive opportunity. And the last few weeks you've seen, we're revamping completely the framework for FI, rule books, return, things like that. The next big stage is to revamp the FI Act. And here we can do a lot of things because the FI Act has lending, EMTR considered electronic money, so we can play a lot here. And this is the goal. So yes, we will take this outdated framework. Just to give you an idea, the FI Act started in 1994. So it needs a revamp. And through that revamp, we can do a lot of things. So definitely with the sandbox, with the revamp, the thing is that we have the players. There's an ecosystem that is vibrant. Now we just need to adapt the legislation to today's age. There's PSD3 as well coming. So right now, payment is a big focus. We want to get better at that, and we want to develop the hub.
We have 30 seconds, one final note. Any advice to operators that will become MiCA licensed in, let's say, H1 of 2025?
My advice would be you transitioning from VFA to here. VFA, you were just speaking with me and my team. That's fine. I could give you all the interpretation. Now you're venturing into European space. So here's this passporting. Yes, I'm your home regulator, but things such as marketing, complaint handling, all of that needs to be looked at. You cannot just say, oh, I have a Maltese license and that's it. If you're offering services in multiple jurisdictions, make sure multiple languages are supported, make sure your customer support is there. You are becoming a European company. You're not just a Maltese one. So there's an effort. It's not just exchanging the license. There's definitely an effort. And please do keep an eye on everything that ESMA and EBA is doing. There is 50 RTS. Only half, if not less of them are published. So they are coming every week with new things. And I cannot protect you. I mean, this is a European framework, you know.
Do you know them all?
My team does.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Camille, for joining us today. And well done to AIBC for this seminar.